We are here on the computer again, which I admit I'm not as thrilled about the quality of. So, because, for example, all the text is backward on my screen, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know, maybe it's right for you all. But anywho, happy Monday morning. It is so hard to believe that we are already almost to the end of March. Time has flippin' flown, and I just, it's been a whirlwind to say in the least. So, we are landing back in our regular Monday morning routine of pulling some cards and tuning into the collective, drinking some Lady Grey tea this morning. And just in case this is your first time stumbling across me, I'm Safrianna Luna, the Queer Spirit Guide. And I always pull a tarot card for the week, as well as about 3 oracle cards. Our tarot card pull from this year is always going to be from the Druidcraft Tarot, unless something else major happens. So let's tune in and see what is here for this week. So this final few days of March, as we kick off into April and we kick off our full moon in Libra that is right ahead. All right, so we have the wheel reversed. So you can see a woman, I'm going to flip it up right. You can see this woman drawing a circle, creating this space for her, this action of drawing the circle, reminding us of the cycles of life that we are in. This is really a warning because it is upside down, a reminder to pay more close attention this week and to really root into what this is asking of us individually. So I'm going to use my bibliomancy here. We're going to pop in and see what the book has to say. But immediately I'm getting this reminder that we are living in the cyclical flow, and it is time to pay attention to where we are drawing our own cycles that are spinning us out in directions we don't want to go. So according to the Druidcraft Tarot, this is actually Arianrod, which is really fun because Arianrod is one of the goddesses I work with. But this is meant to be Arianrod, who is a Celtic goddess. She's associated with the Wheel of the Year, and she is seen drawing the circle of life here. It's the human destiny and the world of cause and effect. At another level, it shows a priestess casting her working circle in a sand on a beach. In Celtic tradition, a beach represents a liminal place, a threshold that stands as a gateway between this world and the other world. Behind her is a cave, which represents both womb and tomb. The wheel of fortune is the wheel of life, of birth, death, and rebirth. And we can see too that, well, you might not be able to see it on this camera quality, but there are spokes of the Wheel of the Year on here. You can see them very teeny tiny. It's pretty blurry for you all, but she's holding a little chain with the spokes of the Wheel of the Year, literally a depiction of the Wheel of the Year as she is casting this circle. And this, of course, tunes us into the seasons and reminds us to follow this cyclical flow. So, because this has come up reversed, we are being reminded to look at where we are resistant to change, to acknowledge that there could be a time of difficulty right now. I mean, certainly there is at a global scale, but that this is a time of strengthening our will, tuning into what is ours to do, and letting go of all the rest. So, reverse, this really has to do with how the harvest can sometimes be bittersweet. You may be reaping rewards of something, some harvest, something that you have made manifest. It might have been a difficult decision. It might have been an uncomfortable situation. You are letting that go now and stepping into something new if you allow yourself. But this indicates that resistance to letting go. So that resistance to change. How can you allow yourself to really step in and embrace the change that is here for you? There are certainly plenty of cosmic invitations to be in change right now. And with this full moon in Libra coming up, we really, really have an invitation to be in the change of the way that we interface with relationships. So that is our tarot card of the week, the wheel reversed. And now I'm going to pull from Moonology messages. I don't often pull from this one I don't think I've ever pulled from it for like a tarot and tea Monday morning vibe check. I sometimes pull on moon ceremonies, but this one was like, hello, pick me this morning. So, what are our core messages of the week? What are the core energies for us to work with? The invitations as we navigate these times of change. Let's hear. Oh, that one straight up flew out. All right. So, interesting. The wheel reversed, of course, is like, hey, remember to let go. You might be resistant to change. You need to let yourself do that. Time to move forward, time to break maybe that negative cycle. So we pulled the ring around the moon. First of all, just look at that ring. So love that we have the ring around the moon and this circle of life, this casting of the wheel. This is all about protection. So, how do you protect your energy this week? How do you really stay present to what your body, mind, spirit needs? How do you protect yourself from taking in what's not really yours to take in? How do you protect yourself from getting lost in the sauce of self judgment, of resistance? So, how do you protect yourself from whatever you need protected from? And I think a lot of us need protection from our own self sabotage, from our own unwillingness to show up for ourselves. And so, that is really what's coming here, with the wheel reversed. So, protect yourself from self sabotage, is really another big theme coming up here. Next, we have the Yang Moon, strength. So, this is really about being in our power, in our empowerment. You see this figure sitting sort of on this dune, the moon is rising in the background. This is the strength we're being invited to tune into, this peace within us, this anchored to the earth, this allowing things to unfold that are out of our control and to respond rather than react, to be in our seat of power. That is what I am picking up with this one. So have the strength to be you, have the strength to be embodied and stay empowered and calm in the midst of whatever is here. I think important to note this card, of course, has the sun and the moon here, really also reminding us to be in the strength of our inner cosmic balance, our inner solar and lunar power, our masculinity and femininity, or our structure and our creative freedom, to really allow ourselves to be in the strength of what we can build for ourselves rather than being in self-sabotage. As I don't know why, but I'm feeling that big time right now. And then our last card is the dark side of the moon, mystery. I love this idea of mystery. There is so much coming forward that we can't even begin to dream up. We can't even begin to imagine. We can only receive. We can only be in the moment of receiving what is coming through. This is really reminding us to allow the mystery to unfold. It's also inviting us to dive into our shadow, down into our depths, and to retrieve what might be a mystery because we have not looked at it closely yet. So, I'm going to recap our cards here. As we look to the cycle, this wheel reversed, we are being reminded to upright this energy, to be in rhythm and flow with the seasons, to be reminded that everything has a cycle of death, life, and rebirth, life, death, and rebirth, whatever, right? We are really being reminded to go with the flow rather than being resistant to change. Let go of the shit that you need to let go of. It is time. In that, there is this protection needed from self-sabotaging energy, from outside density, from outside influence that is maybe tearing us down or trying to convince us otherwise. So be protected from whatever you need to be protected from, and know that that can come naturally. You don't have to try for it. You can hand it over to your higher power, to your guides, to your angels, to your ancestors, however you want or need. You can be protected. Strength to be yourself, to stand in your power, to really be anchored in who you are, to be balanced, to have the strength, to find this harmony between your solar and lunar energy, and to stand in the empowerment of that. And finally, mystery. Allow what is here to be here. Allow this change to unfold. The wheel reversed indicates resistance. This indicates the mystery is going to be here, whether you like it or not. So just play in it. How can you be empowered in it? How can you allow what needs to unfold to unfold? So that is mystery. All right, those are our cards for the week for our tarot and tea. The final moments of March as we go into April. As I already mentioned, we do have a full moon in Libra coming up. I will be live for that on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern over on YouTube. My new handle, by the way, is at Druid Safrianna, all one word. So yes, let me transition into my personal updates now. So the biggest and most major personal update, if you have not already seen it on socials, if you have not caught it in my email, Ikenna and I are getting a divorce, and we are going to be shutting down Living Luna as a business, as a company, as a brand. And that is why I am in the midst of doing a lot of rebranding on the back end, slowly rolling over my channels that we had shared together, and really peeling apart what's me, what am I carrying forward, and what was built out of a mutual original agreement, right? So that has been the big major life update that I have been so vague about for a while. We have been in discussions about the future of our relationship and our home and our business for a while now, probably a little less than a year. And, it's finally reached that point where we were ready to move forward fully. And it's a very heartbreaking circumstance. It's not the outcome I wanted, certainly, but it's where I find myself. And so I am just doing my best to move forward with dignity and my own integrity and my own self as online as possible. I have really grown over these last years and really peeled apart the last bits of my codependency that were really showing up and making my relationships sticky. And I feel really confident about where I move forward from here as me, though I don't feel particularly confident yet about much anything else, just because everything is in the flux and change. So I'm certainly listening to this message from the wheel reverse, reminding us all to not resist the change that is available for us. Change can be a really good thing. What else? So the Park House sold. I did announce it on my notes, but I wanted to say that officially live here as of Friday. The Park House sold. It is no longer in our hands. It is such an immense burden relieved that my nervous system has not yet settled into the fact that it's reality. I am feeling so tired and exhausted. My horoscope told me to stay in bed today and cancel all my plans, but I was like, no, we're going to get up. We're going to do our tarot and tea. We're going to do our podcast. I have a live podcast here in about 10 minutes. And then I'm probably going to crawl back in bed and work from bed today, because my body is just very, very clearly like, hey, you need a lot more rest than you have been afforded over the last 6 months. I feel like I'm playing catch up. So thank you, Holly, for holding me in the love and light. I appreciate it. And I have officially started the second book. I'm pretty sure I already have the name of the second book. Before I even started writing it, a name actually dropped in, and I was like, well, that's really dramatic. I don't know if this is the name of this book, but it'll be the placeholder for now. And as I'm starting writing it and like some things are coming in, I'm like, okay, this might actually be the name. We'll see. But I am about 5,000-ish words in now. So not that far in the scheme of what's probably going to be a 125,000 word book, but we've kicked off, and that's great, because I met the goal of getting the book started in March. And so I can say, check, Safrianna, we met our goal. I don't need to be farther in. I don't have to push it. I want the book to unfold very organically, but I feel like we're starting to find our sea legs again, kind of go, oh, okay, here's where we're going. Here's how I write. This is how I figure out my characters, right? Like it's that reintegration process for sure. So I am excited to finish writing that whenever it comes to fruition. And then, as I already mentioned, we have a moon ceremony on Wednesday. I have a live podcast today. Those are both over on YouTube. And then my next upcoming event is May 1st for Beltane. I'm wanting to say that that is a Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's off the top of my head. But I'll make sure that the links and such are all here in case you want to check that out. I've already been in the Beltane, like dreaming of what is coming through because it's one of my favorite holidays. So I say that about every holiday, though, don't I? I just love the Wheel of the Year. They're all my favorites. But Beltane for the sensuous pleasure, fertility, lushness. There's just so much good, juicy symbolism with Beltane. So I think that's all I have for you today on personal updates. There's just some big ones. I'm getting a divorce. My house is sold. I've started my new book. I'm redoing my business. And yeah, lots going on. So I love you all so much. As always, if there's anything I can do to support you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Safrianna.com is getting completely redone, but it's there right now. I also do want to say if you are subscribed here on Substack, just one little note, you get almost all of my written content and video content that I put out. I put almost everything here on Substack. The one thing I do not put on Substack, at least as of right now, I've thought about dripping them out a couple weeks later, but they won't be as timely if I do that. But I have a newsletter exclusive, which is only for my actual email list outside of any platforms. And that is my midweek newsletter, which was inspired by one of my community members named Rachel, who said, what if you did a Monday newsletter? And I was like, I already do tarot and tea, which was the rebrand from Monday Morning Vibe Check. And I really don't like to create multiple pieces of content in a day because I forget to repurpose them. And so I was like, oh, but I love the alliteration. Do I move the tarot and tea to another day? And then I asked Spirit and it said midweek newsletter. So that's what I've been going with is the midweek newsletter. And that is exclusive to my email list. So if you want to get on that email list, go to safrianna.com and either sign up for one of the freebies in which you will immediately get access to the newsletter list, or you can go to the newsletter portion and sign up for the newsletter directly. But get something free for yourself. That's what it's there for. So officially until next time, I love you all so much. I see you, I believe in you, and I'm cheering you on. We got this. We're going to get through this together. Love yourself. That's the most powerful thing you can do. All right. Bye for now, my friends.